Shri Chaitanya Manobhishram Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I wasted so many devotees' time, but without wasting more time, we will get into the verse. We'll just read. I forget which verse. 34. Yeah. Okay. So this section of Queen Kunti's prayers. Now after Queen Kunti first offered obeisances and expresses her humility of trying to, understanding Krishna, how do I understand? I'm just a woman. Then she glorifies him, saying how he came to actually propagate devotional service. And then, she goes on with that, in that mood. Then she tells about how Krishna protected them from all kinds of dangers. She invites more calamities to happen. So this whole thing, this whole section, she really is in amazement, and she expresses all these beautiful emotions. And now there is a shift after text 31. She starts saying about how different people view your appearance. So she comes to that point. So now the text 32 onwards, that's the theme that she started. 32 she says that some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dear devotees. You appear in the family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. And 33, others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. Then 34, now today's verse. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. So 1:834, we'll read from the verse again. Bharatavatara nayanye bhuvo nava ivo dadau Sidantya bhuri bharena jato hyatma bhuvartitaha. So, word to word. Bhara avataranaya, just to reduce the burden to the world. Anye, others. Bhuvaha, of the world. Navaha, boat. Iva, like. Udadav, on the sea. Sidayantyaha aggrieved, Bhuri extremely, Bharena by the burden, Jataha you were born, he certainly, Atma Bhuva by Brahma, Artitaha being prayed for. Translation. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Purport. Brahma, the first living being born just after the creation, is the direct son of Narayana. Narayana, as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, first of all entered the material universe. Without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. This principle was followed from the very beginning of the creation. The Supreme Spirit entered the universe, and the first living being, Brahma, was born on a lotus flower grown out of the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Vishnu is therefore known as Padmanabha. Brahma is known as Atmabhu because he was begotten directly from the father without any contact of Mother Lakshmiji. Lakshmiji was present near Narayana, engaged in the service of the Lord. And still, without contact with Lakshmiji, Narayana begot Brahma. That is the omnipotency of the Lord. One who foolishly considers Narayana like other living beings should take a lesson from this. Narayana is not an ordinary living being. He is the personality of Godhead himself. And he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. An ordinary living being begets a child by sexual intercourse, and he has no other means to beget a child other than the one designed for him. But Narayana, being omnipotent, is not bound to any condition of energy. He is complete and independent to do anything and everything by his various potencies, very easily and perfectly. Brahma is therefore directly the son of the father and was not put into the womb of the mother. Therefore, he is known as Atma Bhu. This Brahma is in charge of further creations in the universe, secondarily reflected by the potency of the omnipotent. Within the halo of the universe, there is transcendental planet known as Shvetadvip, which is the abode of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord. Whenever there is trouble in the universe that cannot be solved by the administrative demigods, they approach Brahmaji for a solution. And if it's not to be solved even by Brahmaji, then Brahmaji consults and prays to Kshirodakasai Vishnu for an incarnation and solution to the problems. Such a problem arose when Kamsa and others were ruling over the earth, and the earth became too much overburdened by the misdeeds of the Asuras. Brahmaji, along with the other demigods, prayed at the shore of the Kshirodaka ocean, and they were advised of the descent of Krishna as the son of Vasudev and Devaki. So some people say that the Lord appeared because of the prayers of Brahmaji. So one second. Okay, so here in this purport we see Prabhupada is bringing out the supremacy of Krishna first. That's how Krishna can do anything by just willing, and he doesn't need to even go through any of his energies, even internal potency. He doesn't have to go through anything. So in the first paragraph, there is the supremacy of Krishna is established. How he and we can even see that he is the father of all living entities in that case. So Brahma is a direct son of Narayana. So the material world in general, if we don't have this education of pure devotees coming in the line of disciplic succession, normally the way we process, or in general people process Krishna's position, is what is our position. We just see Krishna's position also as the same. So then there is the pretty much we are projecting who we are, and we are telling that this is what God also would be. There is a saying, right? Like man is made in the image of God. But in general, people perceive, or people, we have even heard that people say that, oh, there are different living entities. We are all, God appears as human, and there is hog, God appears as hog. It's like really weird philosophy that is just our own mental imagination of giving a form to God. So people also like talk like this. So unless we have descending knowledge, these misconceptions are not driven away from our subtle body. It's so difficult to be clean, become clean if we don't have descending mercy. So here Prabhupada is saying about how Krishna does not need anything. So in that case, to beget children in general for conditioned living entities, the process is only one, whether it is animal or a human or a whatever it is. There is combination of male and female, and then there is offspring. That's the general rule. So then foolish, the foolishness that happens to a living entity by coming away from Krishna, that makes one think that God is also like us only. He doesn't have anything extraordinary, maybe some mystic powers, but God is also like us. So it's just the same process for him too. So now we can, at least with each and every quality of Krishna, we can actually see how he is, how he is not one of the living entities, especially in the conditioned state. He is not like that. So here Brahma is born just from a lotus flower grown out of the abdomen of Vishnu. It feels like some kind of a, what do we say, fantasy or something like that, and unfortunately most of the world believes that this is fantasy, and so they labeled Mahabharata, Ramayana, or Bhagavad, anything related to God as mythology, mainly when it comes to Bhagavad Dharma, because people are not able to accept this as a science, but they're able to accept somebody moving the electrical energy and mechanical energy, trying to get something to work. They're able to accept that as science, but they're not able to accept this as science. So Krishna kindly has his pure devotees share this knowledge with us. So first of all, Queen Kunti is sharing, and then Prabhupada is elaborating for our benefit. So that is like the first part of the purport, that he is not ordinary, and he can do anything with any of his limbs. We say these prayers almost every day, and in our temples, Angani Asya Sakalendra. So he can do anything with any of his senses. He is not limited. And if God is not limited, Krishna is not limited. He is so unlimited, beyond our mental imaginations and conceptions. So that's why sometimes it's very hard to understand Krishna as he is, because we are seeing through filters. So here, then ordinary living being thinks the other way. So Krishna says that, avajananti mam muda. So one who does not approach me through bhakti, they will never know this. Right now we are at least having some knowledge. We can just imagine how it would be to realize these things, how it would be to really internally realize, this teachings, or this this, what do you say it? I mean, bhakti knowledge that we are getting from Bhagavatam. So then after that, Prabhupada goes to describing Brahma. So Brahma is therefore directly the son of the father and was not put into the womb of a mother. Therefore, he is known as Atma Bhu, or Swayambhu. I mean, he's not Swayambhu, but then, yeah. This Brahma is in charge of further creations in the universe, secondarily reflected by the potency of the omnipotent. So Prabhupada is really giving very nicely here. He says he is in charge of further creations in the universe. That means there is creation that has happened before Brahma. Yeah. And secondarily reflected by the potency of the omnipotent, meaning he is a secondary creator, and he's doing the creations after the primary creation. So this again another misconception that in general, very popular misconception for people with origin from India, and also whoever has some exposure to so-called Hindu, um, you know, really, so really Hindu is not any term in Vedic, but is that Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva in the same level. So that is another very, very popular misconception that is there, out there. So here we are learning from Bhagavatam how things started, before things started, how things started. So before anything started, according to our vision, what happened before that? That's what is described here. Again, Bhagavatam is the is the mother for us. Like Vedic scriptures are like mother, and spiritual master is the father. So Bhagavatam is like our very dear mother who gives us anything that we need to know from the beginning. Because if we see a child, when the child is born, who is the first contact? Who is the nourisher? Who gives nourishment? This is a mother. So Vedic scriptures or Bhagavatam also is like a mother for us. So Bhagavatam is giving everything to us. So this knowledge is also very important to know who's who. Who are we? Who is this demigods? Seeing the world and seeing ourselves in perspective is bhakti. And when we are able to relate the connection between everything and us and everyone to the creator, or to Krishna, that is the beginning for bhakti. And then comes the process, sambandha, and then comes the process of re-establishing that sambandha of everything and everyone plus us. It's not just about, okay, I'm seeing myself as Krishna's servant, but I'm not able to see the other person as that part and parcel of Krishna. Because we all receive the name Dasi and Dasa and all that. So we try extraneously, we try our best to see ourselves as a part and parcel of Krishna, and as a part and parcel of the Lord, and serving the Lord, and all this wonderful real identities. But sometimes it becomes tough to see another living entity as related to Krishna. So this here we are beginning with Brahma. We begin to see who's who. So that is given in the next paragraph. And then the last few sentences are about how Krishna appeared, or this particular verse is saying that seeing the impact of the demoniac kings in the world or in the planet Earth, we all know that Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is the approach, he is a contact for the Brahma and demigods. They go and meet him to claim or to share their issues. And so they go and report, this is what is happening in the planet. It's really overburdened with like misconduct, and we know the Kali Yuga major what do you say, like qualities of Kali Yuga. There's no mercy, and there's no cleanliness, there's no truthfulness, and there's no compassion. So there's all these four legs of dharma is being chopped off. And so here we see that Brahma is a responsible administrator, or like a, he created, so he needs to also see to the fact that how it's going on. And everybody comes, and Brahma and everyone go and to report to Vishnu. So there so the verse says that that's why, because of this, to relieve the difficulties of the devotees, Krishna appeared. So we know that Sarvadharman Paritya, no, what is that? To protect the devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the Paritranaya Sadhunam, right? So see, he appeared because of the prayers of Brahma. So this is the verse where Queen Kunti is relishing and sharing about what are the different ways people think, or transcendentalists think, about your appearance. So that's the verse for today. Yeah, these all like actually come under the prayers of Kunti Devi, because when one offers prayers, it's just not asking for something alone. As we all have heard multiple times, that prayer means glorification of the personality first, and then genuine expression of our challenges, if at all, if we want to share. We must, I think, in conditioned state. Otherwise, we will be sharing somewhere else. So better to share at the right place with the right mood. So then we share, we put forward our challenges in getting reconnected. Of course, Queen Kunti is not doing that, but it's general principle to glorify the personality first before even sharing our issues, sharing our challenges, where we need help with. Because unless we really accept the other person knows better than us, there's no use in asking. We truly accept that the other person is actually able to, or they're capable of what do you say, like helping us or giving some light in some way, even little bit. Of course, with Krishna, we need to have absolute, Guru and Krishna, but then I'm just in general, to approach anyone to seek their help, we have to establish their supremacy or superiority over, that allows us to open our heart to receive also. Otherwise, we are just venting our issues and not able to see or hear what the other person is going to say. So anyway, that is for us in general. But Kunti Devi here is she's just glorifying Krishna. She just doesn't have anything else in her heart. She's just glorifying Krishna, and she's just saying, don't go. That's what she's gonna finally, her punchline is, don't go and cut off my material ties also. But before even putting that actually transcendental prayer, she's saying about, it's not a format for her. For us, it's a template. Yeah, first glorification, then. But for her, it's not a template. It's just heart. So getting access to pure devotee's heart gives us a template for life in this world, where we can at least try to come there. So I'll stop there, Prabhus and Matajis. I'm extremely sorry again. I did not pay attention to the schedule. I have been quite off for some time. Hoping to come back properly with full attention and regularity, seeking your prayers and blessings and forgiveness for today's waste of time. If anyone would like to share anything, kindly help us.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the nectar this morning. I had a question. Is that okay to ask a question?
You can definitely ask, Prabhu. There are so many devotees on the call. So.
Okay, so thing is, for a village or for a small town, if there is some adipati, there is a deity for it. I was thinking this when you were reading this. And for a country, for everything, there is one deity. Even people worship some particular deity. Why not Brahma? Brahma is a secondary creator, and he is, everything comes from, even Lord Shiva appears from Brahma, and all others appears from Brahma. And why is that? What did he do wrong that nobody worships him? There is no deity in anywhere in the world. I don't know, it may be one or two probably. But what did he do something wrong? It's not that we don't want to, we will, as a pure devotee, yes, we will definitely respect and do some, we can, it's not that the way I'm talking about, the worshipping a deity. If you see any Hindu temple, every other deity is there. Navagrahas, days, everything is there. Why not Brahma?
Prabhu, honestly speaking, I haven't come across any explanation in Bhagavatam, or I haven't heard this this particular explanation from any of our, at least I don't know, I haven't heard. But I know what you're asking, that there's not actually a Brahma temple or something like that. There are Vishnu temple, Shiva temple, Shakti temple, this one, that one, everybody, but no Brahma temple. There are other, I've heard of other explanations which are, I'm not sure how authorized and scriptural they are, so I don't know how to, what to share. I've heard some random explanations before coming to hearing from proper disciplic succession. But from our Bhagavatam, of course, currently not too many temples, I guess, but from our Bhagavatam, we know that Brahma had come down to benedict Hiranyakashipu. I mean, I think he had come down to benedict a few people like that. We don't know what they prayed for, I mean, who they called out for. Probably they called out for the creator in the material world. So he came down to benedict. Other than that, I don't know any explanation, honestly. Of course, you're not asking from a devotee perspective, so there's not much to say from that perspective anyway. You're asking in general, so that part I don't have any reference from our literature. Maybe if other devotees, if anybody has some reference from our literature in the disciplic succession, please kindly share if you know of anything.
No problem, Mathaji. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Prabhu. But we can ask this sometime to some wonderful devotees who give talks for our community. We can explore on this, Prabhu, for sure. But at this point, I don't have. But other devotees in the call, please, if you have anything from our literature, sticking to our, teachings, please kindly share. Okay. All right. Anyone else would like to share something? Ask some other, another 2 minutes. Okay, doke. All right. So, should we end? Okay. Okay. We will end here then. Unless anyone would like to share something, please feel free before I say Haribol. But okay. Thank you very, very much for allowing me to be in this association. And thank you also for patiently hearing what I had to share after the reading. I'm extremely sorry for the delay. and my regularity, I'll be back again. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.